Using our gateway, we're going to make it very simple for you to allow you to start taking payments online via credit card and e-check. So I have on the screen a sample website for a company, and we wanted to show you how the pay button works. So if this company was ready to start taking payments, we would provide them the pay button or the link to the payment pages, and they would put something like pay now, and once they click on that pay now button, they will be redirected to our secure web pages where all of the information, sensitive information, credit card information is collected in a secure and PCI compliance manner, and we would process the payment, and then you will actually obviously get notified. So I'm going to go through the process as if I was a customer making a payment to this company for an invoice that I had. So they put the payment link, I got to it, now I'm ready to pay. I'm just going to put some information here. The system will also send an email real time as soon as the payment is made as a receipt to the user, to the person making the payment, if they enter an email address at the time of the payment. So the next step, as soon as they hit continue, is this payment page has the ability to be customized, so it could be different from payment to payment. And we give you the ability to collect up to 6 fields in addition to all of the demographic information. So for this sample, we only created one field called account or invoice number. So assuming your customers get an invoice or an account number assigned to them, that's how you recognize them. That's probably what we want to collect. And then once they hit past this point, they will be presented with the option to pay by credit card or to pay by e-check. The system is pretty easy to navigate. It gives them all of the information that they need to enter to process either the credit card or the e-check. So I'm going to go ahead and enter an e-check as an example for our testing. I'm going to put a routing number. All right. As soon as the routing number is entered, and the system will verify that's a valid bank account, and you'll either put a logo of the bank or the name of the bank right away. If they put the wrong routing number, it won't let them go past that point. And they have to select, obviously, between checking and savings account. It can be a personal account or it can be a business account, but it can only be savings or checking accounts. They would enter the amount they want to pay, so let's say $120. And at that point, everything is entered, so we're going to hit the Continue button. And it'll give the option to the user, to the payer, to look at all of the information, make sure that everything's correct, make sure that they've got the right information as far as the address, invoice number, and once they're ready to submit the payment, they will accept the terms and conditions, which are pretty standard in the industry. They can actually take a look at them and print them if they want to, and then submit the transaction. The transaction gets approved. At this time, when this page appears, which is the confirmation page, it will actually send a confirmation email to the payer thanking them for their payment, and that email can be really customized individually, and it could actually go out with your company's email address, so it's not being sent from a email server that people can't respond to. So this is the receipt page. It contains all of the information. It will contain all of the company name. It will contain all of the payer's information, any other information like account number, invoice number, and of course all of the payment information, amounts, dates, times, and confirmation numbers. So that's what, as simple as it gets to get a payment, pay now button from your website to a completed transaction. So I'm going to switch gears a little bit and go over to our virtual terminal where you will have access to look at transactions real time. So by going to the Transactions tab and searching, going to the Search option, you should be able to find any transaction that's made a couple seconds after the fact. So we know the transaction we just made was done today, the 9th, We hit search. And here's a transaction we just processed for $120. It will have the customer's name, the invoice or account number, the approval code, and the date of the transaction, and the amount. If additional information is needed, you would actually click on the first or last name, and then you have additional information that you can use if you need to get a hold of this customer, or if, for example, the customer calls and they say, I made a mistake, I forgot I sent a check, but I paid online. Looking at this utility, you'll have the ability to void transactions or to reverse transactions. So a void can happen the same day of the transaction, so I'm going to show you that today. And a reversal can only happen after midnight of that transaction. So void will cancel the transaction. Reversal will actually start a second transaction to get that money back to the cardholder's account. So when you hit void, it will give you the ability to hit void, and then it'll say, are you sure you want to void this? And then you get your confirmation that the transaction was voided, so this payment will never go anywhere. It will never settle to your bank account, and the customer will see it on the bank account, and it won't be taken out. And the last thing we'll show is that it will show that status is voided. So we keep track of all of the transactions from the time they get processed to the time they hit your bank account, or anything that happens in between. There's always a status update there for the transaction.